Hello everyone, got another Prager University video here. This one's on Islam. It's titled, Is Islam a Religion of Peace? The narrator of this, or rather the speaker, is a well-known quote-unquote critic of Islam. She's not really a critic, she's more like a bigot, really. So anywho, without further ado, let's watch.
I was raised a practicing Muslim and remained one for almost half my life. I attended madrasas, that is Islamic schools, and memorized large parts of the Quran. As a child, I lived in Mecca for a time and frequently visited the Grand Mosque. As a teenager, I sympathized with the Muslim Brotherhood. At 22, when my family was living in Kenya, my father arranged my marriage to a member of our family clan, a man that I had never met. I ran away, made my way to Holland, studied there, and eventually was elected a member of the Dutch Parliament. Now I live in the United States.
What she conveniently left out was the circumstances of her leaving a country she mispronounced. It's pronounced the Netherlands. Number two, the reason why she left was because the authorities in the Netherlands learned she lied on her immigration paperwork. She claimed asylum in that country, and when they investigated her, they found out she wasn't truthful, essentially. So if she wasn't truthful on her immigration paperwork, it leads me, and I like to think of myself as a reasonable guy. It really leads me to question her entire life story regarding why she left Somalia in the first place. But let's go on.
In short, I have seen Islam from the inside and the outside. I believe that a reform of Islam is necessary and possible, and only Muslims can make that reform a reality. But we in the West cannot remain on the sidelines as though the outcome of this struggle has nothing to do with us. If the jihadists win and the hope for a reformed Islam dies, the rest of the world will pay a terrible price. The terror attacks in New York, London, Madrid, Paris, and many other places are only a preview for what's to come.
And I'm just wondering what is to come. What is she implying? Is she implying that that Muslims are encouraging terrorists? Is she implying that terrorism is because of Islam, and there is no political dimension to this issue? What is she saying?
For this reason, I believe that it's foolish to insist, as Western leaders habitually do, that the violent acts committed in the name of Islam can somehow be divorced from the religion itself. For more than a decade, my message has been simple. Islam is not a religion of peace. When I assert this, I do not mean that Islamic belief makes all Muslims violent. This is manifestly not the case. There are many millions of peaceful Muslims in the world.
This is a stupid argument. So what she's saying is that the Islamic people, or the Muslim people, are not violent and that they are peaceful. But at the same time, she's implying, or she's rather saying explicitly, that the Islamic religion or the Islamic beliefs are violent. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say that, hey, Nazis are not violent, but Nazism is violent. I mean, you can't have it both ways. Either a belief is violent, and then, or rather thus, the adherents to that belief are violent people, or the belief is not violent, and thus the people are not violent. I mean, you can't have it both ways. And to imply, or to imply what she's implying, that Muslims are not violent but their beliefs are violent, it just makes you look stupid, really. And I use that word seriously.
What I do say is that the call to violence and the justification for it are explicitly stated in the sacred texts of Islam. Moreover, This theologically sanctioned violence is there to be activated by any number of offenses, including but not limited to adultery, blasphemy, homosexuality, and apostasy, that is, to leave Islam. Those who tolerate this intolerance do so at their peril. As someone who has known what it is to live without freedom, I watch in amazement as those who call themselves liberals and progressives, people who claim to believe so fervently in individual liberty and minority rights, make common cause with the forces in the world that manifestly pose the greatest threat to that very freedom and those very minorities.
That's where she really goes off the deep end. This is a typical right-wing talking point, that there is somehow this magical alliance between the left and Islamic militants. Any serious person who knows anything about Islamism knows that the two belief systems are diametrically opposed to one another, and thus no alliance can possibly occur. I mean, it's just impossible. The only reason why these right-wing idiots say this is the left says, Muslims are people who deserve rights, who deserve equal protections under the law, and their religion, the Islamic faith, has to be tolerated in a society that values things like freedom of religion, freedom of association, and freedom of whatever. Whereas the people on the right say the opposite. In fact, many people on the right say Islam isn't a religion, which implies that if it's not a religion, then Muslims are not entitled to constitutional protections. I mean, these people are just fucking clowns.
In 2014, I was invited to accept an honorary degree from Brandeis University for the work I have done on behalf of women's rights in the Muslim world. That invitation was withdrawn after professors and students protested my criticism of Islam.
Well, those professors and students, first of all, they have every right to criticize your beliefs, just like how you have every right to criticize Islam. If a private institution, or in this case Brandeis, decides to revoke your degree, guess what? They have every right to do that. I'm so sick and tired of this victim mentality that many of these right-wingers have. Oh man, I can't be a bigot, I can't, I think Muslims are not human beings, okay, and you should tolerate that, and you should accept that, and don't take away my degree, don't fire me from my job. Anyways, let's continue.
Subsequent disinvitation, as it came to be called, was no favor to Muslims, just the opposite. By labeling critical examination of Islam as inherently racist, we make the chances of reformation far less likely. There are no limits on criticism of Christianity at American universities or anywhere else for that matter. Why should there be of Islam? Instead of contorting Western intellectual traditions so as not to offend our Muslim fellow citizens, we need to defend both those traditions and the Muslim dissidents who take great risks to promote them. We should support these brave men and women in every way possible. Imagine a platform for Muslim dissidents that communicated their message through YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. These are the Muslims we should be supporting for our sake as much as for the sake of Islam. In the Cold War, the West celebrated dissidents such as Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Andrei Sakharov, and Václav Havel, who had the courage to challenge the Soviet system from within. Today, there are many dissidents who challenge Islam, but the West either ignores them or dismisses them as not representative. This is a grave mistake. Reformers such as Tawfiq Hamid, Asra Nomani, and Zuhid Jasser, and many others must be supported and protected.
Here's the thing about those three. They're not taken seriously by mainstream Muslims. It is, in fact, made those three, whether one could even consider the Muslims, is actually a debate. I'm done with the rest of this video. Please share, like, subscribe. Thank you.